everyone, and welcome to the Waffle Flower channel. It's Shannon here, and today I'm going to be showing you one of our new stamp sets from our spring 2017 release. This stamp set is called Stitched Roses. It is a cross-stitch layering stamp set. This large rose here that I'm pointing to has 3 layers. That first layer is your light layer, the second layer is your medium layer, and that third layer is your dark layer. There's also a smaller rose right over here on the left. It's clearly labeled A1, A2, A3 for all 3 layers, and they're also labeled for light, medium, and dark. So it's very easy to see which stamps go with which rows. There's also 3 sentiments and several leaves that come with this stamp set as well. When these roses are layered up together, they're really beautiful, and I just see so much potential with this stamp set. Okay, so here I have the first layer for the large rose and the smaller rose already mounted in my MISTI, and I'm going to ink it up with Waffle Flower's Tickled Pink, which is going to be the light shade, just how it's marked on that acetate that your stamps come on. I just stamp it a couple times just to intensify the color a little bit, and now I'm going to move on to the second layer. So this is how I line up this second layer. I use the acetate that the stamps come on. I just removed all the stamps, and I line it up in those negative spaces where that second layer stamp should go, and once I get all those printed X's that are printed on that acetate in the exact spot, I will then take the stamp and line the stamp up according to that acetate. I found this to be the best way to line up your layering stamp sets. In fact, I do this for all my layering stamp sets. It's very, very helpful. So I'm just fine-tuning here, and now I'll pull over my stamp. So now I'm going to line this stamp up with those X's that are printed on the acetate. And this is actually very easy to do. It's hard to capture with the camera, but once that stamp is lined up just right, all those X's kind of become very clear and crisp and sharp. So it's actually very easy to tell when you've got it all lined up. So now it's all lined up. I'm just going to fold my MISTI over here and pick up that stamp that is now in that perfect spot. So really helpful tip for placing your layering stamps. I'm going to do the exact same thing here now to the smaller rose and show you one more time. So taking that acetate and lining up the printed X's that correspond with the second layer for this rose up in those negative spaces. Once I get it there, I will grab my stamp and place it right on top. I use my magnets to hold it down while I kind of fine tune it just to get it in that exact spot. So all those X's are all lined up and going the right way. Okay, so now that I've got that acetate lined up, I'm going to pull out my stamp again and then line my stamp up according to that acetate. And again, the little X's that are printed on the acetate will become very clear and darker once I have that stamp lined up. And there we go. I've got it lined up there. So now I'm going to fold my MISTI over and pick up that stamp. And that is now also perfectly lined up. Okay, so this second layer is going to be my medium shade. So I'm going to use Waffle Flower's My Pleasure, which is kind of like a corally red color, really pretty color, and just stamp it a couple times just to also bolden that and make it a little more vivid. And now I lined up just like you saw before with the acetate. I did the third layer of these roses, and I'm stamping them in my darkest shade of red. And there are some leaves that come with the set, so I just got those mounted on my MISTI, and I'm stamping those. I'm stamping them in Chirp Chirp Waffle Flower dye ink. And then I will take Waffle Flower's Peace of Mind, which is a darker shade, and I'm going to partially ink up these leaves. So I haven't moved them, I've just left them on there, and now I'm partially inking them up with Peace of Mind. And this will create a gradation on that leaf and will add a little depth and a little bit more interest. I really like to do that gradation with these cross-stitch stamp sets. So I'm going to stamp that hello sentiment and then stamp the other 2 for you so you can see the miss you and with love. So some really great sentiments that pair really nicely with these roses. Okay, I'm going to use this new Stitched Layers die. It's an awesome die set because it cuts a stitched frame or stitched panel, I should say, and it also will create a horizontal stitch around the panel as well. So really fun. So there you are. I've cut down my panel, and then I die cut it with the stitched layers die, the largest one, and that card's all done. Here's a couple more samples. So this stamp set and the other stitched roses, or I'm sorry, the other stitched stamp sets will be available March 9th. You guys don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching me today.